Hello and welcome to the Flourishing Introvert Talks with me, Jo Rawbone. This is the podcast that celebrates the natural gifts of introverts so that we can flourish in all situations. Episode 284, Introverts, the Quiet Disruptors. And maybe my subheading here is the rise of the quiet disruptors. You know, you don't have to shout to shake the system. In fact, the people doing the deepest, most lasting work aren't shouting at all. They're the ones disrupting from within, without drama, without spotlight, because their power doesn't need applause or approval. Introverts are often underestimated, not because they lack power, influence or authority, but because they don't demonstrate these qualities in a loudly performative way. You know, the way that too many corporate slaves and obedient employees are being lured into by their toxic leaders and well-meaning managers. So in this episode, I'm challenging the notion that disruption has to be dramatic. Some of the most powerful changes begin in silent revolt. There's probably a couple of things that I need to clarify right at the outset, so my position is clear. Quiet disruption is not passive, far from it actually. It's strategic and how introverts initiate and lead lasting change. Nor does it have negative intentions. It's not about kicking up a fuss, making noise or ruffling feathers just for the sake of it. It's a wake-up call, a pattern interrupt, a call to action for those ready to make a difference. Quiet disruption sends a clear message that you're not on your own. Others like you are thinking about this too, but it won't be rammed down your throat. So you'll almost definitely need to be ready to hear the call to notice the real depth, consistency and substance of the quiet disruption. So let's spend a moment defining what we really mean by a quiet disruptor. For me, it's someone who challenges the status quo, the norms we've been forced to accept, the bias we're subjected to, but in a thoughtful, understated way. Because we use influence with integrity rather than volume with vitriol, we take those ready to explore with us on the journey. This isn't a route march, it's an expedition. This is how we lead change, but it doesn't necessarily fit the mould of leadership that many are trying to force-fit people into right now. People are seeing through the shallowness of excessively loud, unnecessarily visible and power-hungry shape of the cookie cutters in use right now. They seem to be about shaking the branches to rustle the leaves, whilst we're quietly moving amongst the roots to ensure the right level of nourishment and connection. The reassuring thing about our deep work is that we don't need to be the centre of attention in a showy way, something many of us dislike intensely. But, and this is important, we do need to be passionate enough about our cause that we're prepared to step forward and up as the spokesperson. One of the fears I had was of not knowing how to answer a question when being put on the spot. That fear falls away when I'm speaking about something that really matters to me, because I've realised that having the right answer isn't as important as people feeling just how much I care. And there are several factors that facilitate that shift. Let me share more of what I think it takes to be a quiet disruptor to help explain. Number one, the quiet disruptors I align with are purpose-driven, so they know what they are here in this world to do. You know that I help people in the frustrated to flourishing journey find their purpose, and it may not be one single thing. My purpose is to enable introverts to flourish. So like other quiet disruptors, my purpose is about making something better, not just different. But your purpose doesn't have to be something grand or global. After all, modelling integrity in your team, making a positive difference in your family, or creating more connection for those in your community is just as noble a purpose. Number 2, quiet disruptors are observant and curious for the right reasons. They notice more than the average person, especially if average refers to those so wrapped up in their own world that they tend to be too busy to take their blinkers off. You've probably already heard me talk about the importance of listening with your eyes, your ears, and all of your senses. That's sensory acuity, if you want the proper term. The quiet disruptors' observations are the catalyst for them to ask powerful questions in order to flush out problems and so they understand things better. This is because their purpose extends beyond their own fulfillment. Number 3, quiet disruptors influence with integrity, so they're not manipulative, forceful, or unethical. Most of the quiet disruptors making a difference right now have no formal authority, but they don't let that hold them back. They take a quiet stance, so they lead by example, co-creating psychological safety as they go, and they're open to feedback and coaching. Skilled influencers know that they need to be open to being influenced. That's partly what keeps them in integrity. Number 4, the successful quiet disruptors are those with resilience and patience. Taking the quiet route is rarely the fastest, but is more likely to build solid support and momentum. So, patience will serve you well and be reinforced by having that clear purpose. I talked about resilience in episode 281 and gave listeners access to my 5-minute resilience ritual, so do go back to that if you need to. Lastly, number 5, and this one might be more of a stretch for some introverts, but quiet disruptors are definitely collaborative. Yes, I know we pride ourselves on our resourcefulness, but virtually nothing is achieved in pure isolation. That means we need to find common ground, build rapport, and find ways to trust other people. And if that's a real problem for you, know that not trusting is more than a simple introvert problem, and it usually starts with not trusting yourself. Now, to be fair, all of those are qualities I'd look for in any great or potential leader, so they're worth developing even if you're not yet ready to be a quiet disruptor. For those of you who have felt moved to take action on something but not known where to start, I recommend you book a clarity call with me. The link is on the website and in the episode description. During a clarity call, we can establish what your first steps might be. And for those stirred but scared or unsure if you have what it takes, please take the Flip Your Limiting Beliefs self-paced course. Most of us, quietly disrupting, doubted ourselves to begin with and had to get out of our own heads and our own way. Rosa Parks challenged the status quo by sitting with quiet determination. Her courage changed history in ways that we benefit from today, although many would be delighted if the change were undone. Given the need to step forward and step up, I know that quiet disruptors are motivated to make a difference, and that motivation is underpinned by a real passion for their cause. Without that passion, it's all too easy to crumple at the first roadblock or challenge, meaning you risk becoming disheartened and packing it in. Courage, along with passion, are enduring qualities of the quiet disruptor. Rosa had both in spades. The catalyst for me was when working in a global business, I noticed just how many good, hard-working, competent people were being passed over for promotion. The opportunities were typically offered to their outspoken, overly confident colleagues. In that moment, I realised that I'm not prepared to turn away or take the coward's way out. Most of us will feel the call at some point to advocate for someone or something that reeks of injustice or is dear to our heart. You'll know what those things are for you. What causes me to take quiet action? are the lies, cruelty and injustice that permeates business and society. And depending on the level of my ability to influence the outcome, I will take appropriate action by enrolling collaborators to quietly work with me amongst the roots of the problem. It's crucial for me to be discerning about which causes I take action on, as my energy is precious, too precious, to expend it on things that are concerns but beyond my ability to influence or control. So here are some strategies that will enable you to start oh so quietly, but start for sure. Number 1, reclaim the word disruptor. There's nothing intrinsically negative about being a disruptor. It's the intention that matters, and we're just looking to challenge the status quo when it is unjust in some way. Number 2, name it when you see it. Whatever pricks your conscience or awakens your sense of injustice, even if it's a word in someone's shell-like, nothing will change until people are aware of it. Number 3, own your influence. We all have more ability to influence than we give ourselves credit for. Granted, we may need to shift our beliefs and become braver, but those are within our gift. Number 4, stop waiting for permission. No one, other than me in this instance, needs to give you the go-ahead to take action. As Nathaniel Brand said, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to make life right for you. No one is coming to solve your problems. If you don't do something, nothing is going to get better. Wise words. And finally, number 5, disrupt with precision. This is such a great strategy to finish on, and it again means we need to be discerning and pick our battles. Pick those ones that really matter to you and that you know you have the stamina for, even when the going gets tough. Remember, you don't have to shout to shake the system. In fact, we're becoming conditioned to the noise, so it ceases to be impactful. You might never stand on a stage. You might never lead a revolution with a megaphone. But don't ever doubt the power of your quiet conviction, because real change doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it walks in softly, speaks when it matters, and keeps showing up even when no one's watching. So sit where others won't sit. Speak when others don't speak. And keep tending to the roots while others noisily rustle the leaves. That's a good route to quiet disruption, and this is your invitation. To disrupt gently, purposefully, relentlessly, because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more of you. So focus on the truth, stay true to your values, and take action on what matters. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, then please subscribe, rate us and leave a comment, because we know that helps other people find the podcast. And if other people find us, other introverts can flourish.
You are listening to an Intentional Media Production podcast.